Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is my final video on the Kronos One 1/350th scale model kit by Polar Lights. And this model has absolutely been a project, but I very much enjoy how it's turned out in many ways. Now this is actually the culmination of 3 different products. Now all of these of course are available at Cult TV Man Hobby Shop, and there will be descriptions below. But first, we have the actual model kit itself. This is an updated version of the Katinga model kit that was put out 5 years ago, updated to be the Kronos One version. I'm also using the official light kit put out by Polar Lights to light this model. And I've added just a few extra LEDs to make a few things brighter and add a little bit. But overall, the lighting here is the official lighting kit. And the third product is the Photo Etch supplemental set that you can get. Once again by Polar Lights, available at Cult TV Man Hobby Shop. And this is a huge difference maker on the model kit. And of course, if you decide not to go with the Photo Etch set, you do have this wonderful set of gold decals that takes the place of the Photo Etch. So let's talk about the kit itself. This is absolutely a fantastic modern model kit. So the engineering is fantastic. The fit is wonderful. And there's a few really nice things like this openable battery compartment. So lift it up from the back, pull this off, and you've got access to your circuit board, to your battery pack. The intricate design, very easy to paint because these are raised panels, inset panels. There's engraved lines you can follow. So very easy to mask with tape yourself. You don't have to go get a masking kit for this like you might have to on some of the Aztec designs that are on flat surfaces. These colors here, these patterns, those all have raised edges, so it's very easy to tape. And there's pre-made openings for wires and LEDs. Very nice modern engineering. So let's actually turn on some of the lights and get a good look at the ship. Now, this is mostly the stock lighting kit. I have added in some lights here to wash over the hull, some lights that shine back here, and I've put brighter LEDs inside that front bulb. So those are just some additions I made to kind of suit my own taste. But yeah, that is a look at our Kronos One model kit. From the front, from the side, you should be able to see those engines, those glowing nacelles. Front on, you should be able to see this wonderful red light there for the front, the glowing green stripe in front of the nacelles. And of course, the official lighting kit gives you blinking and strobing lights here. And hopefully you can see on the belly of the ship, you have some lights. But of course, the real feature here are the glowing green nacelles. That's really unique to the Kronos One version of this ship, and it looks fantastic. Now, honestly, I think I'd rate the kit very highly, probably an A. Wonderful fit, wonderful detail, very easy to put together. The lighting kit, I'd probably give it a B. I don't think it would be an A because I think to get this effect, which is what you want kind of from that front bulb, you have to go off book a little bit and get some brighter LEDs for these front 2 sections. So it's a good kit, very easy to use. You don't need any electrical knowledge, but the front is going to be a little bit dim if all you have is the stock kit. So I think to really get a wonderful looking effect, you have to do something like get an extra circuit or get brighter LEDs. And that's why I wouldn't rate it as an A. But overall, the lighting kit, easy to use, good effects, self-contained, so it all runs off a battery pack inside the ship. So lots of display options. And when it comes to the Photo Etch would absolutely be an A as well. Now, I don't use Photo Etch very often, but I found this Photo Etch very easy to use. And at the end, you'll see a lot of close-up pictures, but you can just see this ship is just covered with little gold brass pieces all over the ship. So here, along the edges, along the back of the engine. And when we get to the close-ups, you'll see all the brass is kind of put around the bridge and this command deck. And that is authentic to the filming model. When they went to update this model for Star Trek VI, a large part of what the designers did is cover the ship in kind of those brass adornments. And as we've talked about, the idea there was, this is the Chancellor's ship. He's been through a lot of battles, a lot of victorious battles, honorable battles. And when the Klingons do that, they come back, they repaint part of the ship, or they add these gold adornments to it. So the Klingon Chancellor's ship is the most blinged out ship that the Klingons have. That's why it gets this really cool, unique paint job throughout the entire ship. And the photo etch, while I was a little weary of it, it's got a couple things going for it. First, you don't have to paint it. You can leave it that brass color because that's what was on the filming miniature. So right there, not having to paint the brass makes it pretty easy. The second thing that makes it easy is you don't have to fold it into odd shapes like you do a lot of times for photo etch. When they make you bend it into structures or squares or boxes, most of these you cut it out, it's a flat piece, you glue it on as a flat piece. There's a few times when you wrap it around the neck or kind of curve it for the bridge, but overall they're flat pieces that you just glue on very easily. Okay, let's do a few ship comparisons. So we have our 1/350th Kronos One Katinga class cruiser. And of course, this is featured in Star Trek VI, where it goes up against a Klingon bird of prey. So here we have a Klingon bird in prey, pretty close in scale. So you can see how kind of those two sit together. We've got the Kronos One, the bird of prey, very nice. And those two make a wonderful Klingon display. The next ship we're going to bring in is the original Katinga from 5 years ago, done in very Klingon greens. You can see it's kind of dark, very different paint job than the Kronos One. Let's open up the battery compartment and turn on its lights. So this is much more stock lighting. So if you want to see what the stock lighting looks like, this is what it looks like. So you can see kind of the stock lighting versus the lighting I did. And that's why I give the lighting kit a B, because this is serviceable. This works. You can see that everything's lit up, but it's not as good as if you start adding in something kind of home done. So here we have our Klingon green. And here we have our Kronos One paint job. So there you can kind of see the difference in decoration on these ships. And of course, the original Katinga does not have any lit nacelles. Our bridge is differently shaped on each of them, but overall, just fantastic model kits of both of them. And here we have a really nice Klingon display from Katinga to Bird of Prey to the Kronos One. Very nice model kits for a shelf. All right, so Star Trek VI, we've got the Kronos One going up against a Bird of Prey. And of course, the hero ship for Star Trek VI is our USS Enterprise. So this is probably one of the most popular model kits out there for Star Trek enthusiasts. We have the USS Enterprise in 1/350th scale, a gorgeous, imposing model that many of us have struggled with time and time again to get right. But this is my version. This is my USS Enterprise in 1/350th scale. And here's how it shapes up next to a Katinga. Hopefully both of these are in frame. But you can see definitely these ships well suited to go up against each other. Honestly, between the two it may be sacrilege, but I think the Klingon cruiser takes out a Constitution class starship probably 4 times out of 5. You know, the Katinga was kind of an updated D7 class battle cruiser. In the original series, you had the original Enterprise versus D7s, very contemporary. Then by the time you get to the movie era, both of those ships are kind of outdated. They've been updated. The Katinga is kind of the class that the Constitution is trying to catch up to, with all of its refits. Especially if you read the novelization of the motion picture, the Katinga is the updated Klingon cruiser that Starfleet is worried about. One of the reasons why they made the Excelsior. And of course, the Katinga is so well done, that battle cruiser lasts into the next generation, into Deep Space Nine, whereas the Constitution, outdated by that point, replaced by Excelsiors, by other ships. So honestly, I do think the Kronos One, a little bit stronger and more advanced of a starship than the Constitution class. Of course, this ship has Kirk, which is probably the difference maker, and Klingons would not want to go up against Kirk and his crew in the Enterprise, even if the Enterprise is over 20 years old and due to be retired. But that is two massive, intense modeling projects side by side, our Constitution class refit and our Kronos One Klingon battle cruiser. Now, if you've watched the channel over the past 6 weeks or so, you've seen me build this, you've seen everything that goes into it. But it is a lot of fun to start off with an unassembled model kit, unpainted, unlit, and get it to this stage where you have something well detailed, painted, lit, and exciting to look at. I can't recommend the model kit enough. It is absolutely fantastic. Now, the lighting kit is a good lighting kit, especially if you're not good at doing your own electronics. It's a wonderful plug-and-play solution you can put into the model and have good effects that are going to look good on your shelf. And if you have a little bit of electronics know-how, you can get a little bit brighter of LEDs. So I'd say the kit is a must. The lighting, you can kind of go either way. I think probably the Photo Etch, when you'll see it on the close-ups, the Photo Etch might be more important on the Kronos One than getting it lit. I think when you kind of look through the builds and kind of see the ones that use the Photo Etch versus the ones that use the decals are going to look good. The Photo Etch is just going to add a little bit more dimension to all the detail on the ship. So if you had to pick two out of the three, I would probably get the kit and the Photo Etch. If you were going to get all three, then you get a really cool effect. But otherwise, the kit with the Photo Etch is going to look good. All right, I'm going to close out the video with a slideshow of pictures of the model kits to get you a lot of detail on them. I've been very glad and honored and privileged to work on these, especially the Photo Etch and the lighting kit before they were released. I'm glad to bring these reviews to you guys to kind of see what the models look like, get an idea of planning out your own builds, get an idea of what you can do with the models. I've been very glad to do it. And I'm very glad all of you have kind of followed the channel and watched these build videos. Once again, make sure to check out Cult TV Man Hobby Shop, where all of these are for sale. I understand the Photo Etch just kind of went live today, so if you ever pre-order, it should be available to order now. So that's my review of the Klingon battle cruiser, the Kronos One, 1/350th scale. Thank you guys for following the channel. Thank you for following the build, and I'll be back soon.